let's go. We're on.
Okay. We're live?
Yeah, we should be.
Okay. So, welcome to the Clutch Kick. I'm one of your hosts, EG, and I think we're still having Skype issues, so my co-host is Greg.
I'm floating in your door, mate.
Okay. So, we're just mucking around a bit before and seeing what would happen if we left the title screen? Pre-screen? I don't know what you'd call it. Whatever. Anyway, we're just seeing if people would react, and
You're not supposed
I
to
guess
tell
they
them
didn't, because some people left, but then yeah, we still, yeah.
Well, we know who the diehards are, and we love you. So, shout out to Benny because I know he's a diehard. So we have to do it for Benny.
So this week, who have you got on this week, Greg?
I've got this real famous guy. He's called EG.
Famous for doing what? Giving people shit with absolutely no reason.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and that's you at every DCA event. So I'm glad it's not happening this year at this stage. So
Absolutely no substance at all.
nah, not at all. I guess this weekend just passed D1NZ. Matty Hill was sitting second in the championship coming into the weekend. Sadly, he was knocked out in the top 24, I think, and he.
Yeah, I noticed he wasn't in the top 16 because I started watching the top 16.
Yeah, sadly for him, he got himself. His rear bar came flying off through that first big sweeper, and I'm imagining that probably unsettled the car a little bit, and he ended up having a bit of a bobble in his chase, and yeah, sadly that was enough to put him out, and so he slid from second down to fifth in the championship with the final round to go. But I think the final round is on a track that should suit him a little bit better, so hopefully my predictions are correct and he does a little bit better there. He seems like every second round he does well, and every second round he does shit. So this is his round to do good. So hopefully that bumps him back up in the standings. What I actually really liked over the weekend was, I don't know how much. Yeah, you didn't watch it all that much, but Cole Armstrong, who blew a motor before before the battles even started, ended up commentating basically all the battles, and then Bruce Tannick got knocked out early in the competition and went in and commentated with Cole, and yeah, some of the best commentary I've seen at a drift event. Just because you're getting
Really?
that, yeah, just because you're getting that.
I thought there were, I knew there were drivers, but I wasn't quite sure. I thought there were maybe, because they seem to be backing each of the finalists.
Yeah, a little bit, but Bruce is. I spoke to Bruce at World Time Attack because he was spotting for, I think he was spotting for Carl Thompson or something like that, and he's a really well-spoken dude, and he spoke the same way on the live stream as he did in person. Really informative. He seems to know a lot of the New Zealand history, and he knows who's won what and all this sort of stuff, which is pretty funny because he's sort of an older dude, and he's the fact that he's sort of followed it from the beginning and knows what most of the guys have achieved and stuff like that. So it's actually quite a good watch. Oh, it's good to see Cardsy comes in and gives his esteemed leader some shit. So nice to see you in the comments, Cardsy. Why is the YouTube live stream not on? Or is that just at my end?
Not sure.
Oh no, we're
I've
still
just got,
going. So,
I've just got Facebook open.
Bloody technical difficulties. Don't let the white guy deal with the IT shit. Don't let the figure skater deal with the IT shit. Yeah, overall, I don't know. I don't love Pukekohe as a competitive drift track.
No, but I think it's cool as a single or
Yeah.
solo or demo
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah,
that
that's
video
what I thought as well.
from ZP Drift or whatever it is, the guy who's acting as third judge at the moment. Him just coming in, full cook and then getting a little bit of wheel spin before he pitched it in, like super cool run. Even some of Jake Jones's videos from his vlogs, some really really good runs. But I think for a track that fast, and I think they've done it previously where they've started them from even further back, but tried to get them up to speed and then sort of rolling in at that speed rather than they're all still accelerating so hard into the corner. And I think, or like,
Yeah.
kind of like the guys who have the fast cars. Like I know Kyle Thompson was watching his video. He sort of all the way through first, all the way through second, all the way through third, and then short shift up to fifth, and then did a big clutch kick entry and stuff like that. But yeah, most of the guys with not as crazy a setup as that were pretty full throttle to the start and only still getting 160, 170. But I think when you got dudes like Cole Armstrong doing 202, and then you've got guys only a few places down from him in qualifying, only doing like 160, 170. That's a huge discrepancy in speed. So I think it just makes it it's just gonna not bring the world's tightest battles. So yeah,
No,
I'd love to drive that.
and
Don't get me wrong, I'd love to
a
drive
little
that
bit
section.
dangerous, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think because over the years, guys have gotten better and better on that track, but the cars are just still so wildly different over there. You've got guys like Carl Thompson and Fanger with full blown FD spec cars, and then you've got guys. I can't think of the guy's name in the Laurel. That
Yeah, he was in Japan with us. Jaku?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Yeah, I know the guy you're talking about. Pretty basic setup.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, and so, and don't get me wrong, I love that sort of car, but just yeah, when you've got a comp with that bigger discrepancy, a track like that sort of starts to rear its ugly head a little bit with just the sort of gaps and I guess
It's not only that. The other issue is I don't know. I wasn't in the briefing, but the initiation. I don't think they should allow people to initiate so vastly that different. So there were some people coming in, pulling the handbrake, and then getting the back of the car to come out. Then there were some people coming in, swinging the car a little bit, and then getting the car to come out, getting off the gas. And there's other people that were clutching and then accelerating through. So you've got a whole bunch of people doing all different things, and then if you get a guy maybe leading, yanks a handbrake, while the other guy behind does like a clutch and accelerate, then there's such a big difference in initiation that one's going to close the gap while the other one's going to close the gap the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Amazon. Yeah, Vinny Langhorn was the guy in the Laurel, and yeah, good style and stuff like that. But yeah, just as EG said, like when you've got the different styles of entry, and that's not only through driver technique. That's just the way different cars need to be entered. Some of the guys.
This is a competition.
Yeah, no, no. But what I'm saying is like, but I know that Andrew Redwood was like basically banging off limiter in his RX-7 with no gearing left. So really, he can't do a clutch kick entry. And considering they didn't want a movement to the left before initiation, from my understanding, they didn't want that movement to the left before initiation. All he could really do was grab handbrake because he's got no gear left. Like, what are you going to do? You can't clutch kick it, nowhere to go. So
yeah, but then as a chase car, you need that expectation of how they're going to initiate. So that needs to be set.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be bad as a spectator.
Yeah.
So, because what's going to happen is, you're in the chase car and I'm in the lead car and I'm cruising along. You're behind me. You have no idea how I'm going to initiate. If I'm actually going to clutch, if I'm going to handbrake, and you're probably like, okay, the safest option is I'll pull the handbrake. There's a gap. I'll try and close it. Yeah, if I clutch it, then I could potentially, smack into the guy in front of me, and that's what's, I think, preventing that proximity in that competition.
Yeah, and I don't know. I guess you've been judging for a long time and sort of had a play with places like Simmons Plains trying to get guys entering closer together and different tracks trying to get guys entering closer together. On a track like that, when you're wanting that big speed, would you start them closer to the corner or would you start them further back and try and get them through like a 100k rolling gate or something like that?
So with us, we try and, if it was that situation, we would ask for a motion. So the chase car would be able to see an indicator that there will be an initiate, like a swing in. So it's more expected rather than not knowing when this guy is going to initiate. Cause
But in fairness, they had two sets of cones, so there was sort of a box that you're supposed to be initiating in. And if you have a look at Jake Jones' videos, you see it pretty clear. There's like these two boxes, but I'm more talking about the fact that the seeing sort of the big gap in the drag race um, up to the first corner.
Yeah, there was a few gaps, but I think that sort of course there's not really much you can do, especially that level of competition they're trying to show.
Yeah.
So it's a high level comp. So you shouldn't be. There is some expectation that you'll prepare your car.
Yeah.
For that level of comp. I mean, I know I say that you shouldn't need a lot of power, but you should sort of consider what you're competing in.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to figure out a way to word this right because I know people will sort of refer back to this and say this is what you said. Well, yeah, it is, but like that's in this situation only. So it's hard to explain very easily, but
yeah, but like what you're basically saying is it would be like saying, you're really good at football, so you're not allowed to wear footy boots because you got to wear slides or something because we've got to bring you back to the rest of the field or something.
Well, kind of like as a promoter, you're trying to create the best show you can. So you want to get people interested and attending, and then them tell their friends to say, "Hey, you should come along," and without deviating too far away from the sport. So what you're trying to promote. So I can understand that there is some sort of things that you need to include, but other things like I really don't see why they sometimes put a sideshow on during a drift event. Just keep them drifting. Just like drift. Why are you putting one thing is like stunt bikes, like just you go on a little small 100cc, 50cc bike just doing wheelies or something. Yeah, okay, that's kind of interesting, but why would you put them on the main track? Like people want to see drifting, so you go to a drift event, you just put other drifting styles besides a tandem comp. Maybe you put like train or like a drift show, like even a drift. What did they do in ADGP a few years ago? It's like Drift Kana or Drift Games, like even something like that where there's like
yeah, I think
just keep it.
But I think that stuff
drifting.
gets boring, and you're talking at a high level here. Like, it's more of a publicity show, so I don't think it's necessarily that bad of a thing to have other stuff because at the end of the day, you want people who aren't just your general drift people to be excited to come back, sort of thing. So,
Yeah.
And giving them a little bit of something they're not necessarily expecting can sort of get them more hyped up and that sort of stuff. So, but I get what you mean with the sort of the.
Yeah. So yeah, I went a bit too far away from that. So as a promoter, you'll set a standard or a set of guidelines or recommend like criteria that each car or each competitor needs to meet, and then that way you'll keep the competition tight and it'll be exciting for the spectators.
But yeah, I'd love to go over and drive that layout because it just looks stupid.
I think I'd be scared to do it.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe the very, very first part of the corner is scary, but once you've made it past, the where their current initiation is, even if you mess
Oh
up,
yeah,
you're gonna wash way wide onto
that's
that grass anyway, and you got heaps of space. It's like if you mess up the very, very start of the entry and then you find the wall.
yeah, yeah.
So
I'm surprised that not many people actually are because I was expecting um, to see someone sort of maybe just by pure accident they'll initiate and then maybe something the handbrake or the clutch just fails and they've just sort of
there
skidded
was,
along the
yeah,
wall.
there was only one sort of incident like that, and that was during Pro Street. So,
Okay.
but I think
Yeah.
I think over the years they've refined where that wall is because it used to be an Armco one with like backward facing walls and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, but
So yeah, that's why it's hard to sort of set because you don't want to exclude anyone. And so with me, I think I would have put a weight shift towards before initiation, so that way it gives the chase car a little bit more time because the people still did dive in and they were still capable of sort of catching up around that first corner. Um, it would have been nice to be able to see the briefing, like the driver's briefing. I think
yeah,
like a recording
yeah, but my
and an
yeah
essay.
from my understanding from what the commentators and the guys driving who came and spoke said that it was uh, um, because of they didn't want to motion like there was to be like no opposite loss of traction or something before initiation. So
Yeah,
so a weight shift would be deemed as you know
yeah,
opposite.
yeah.
So
But
um,
that was their
yeah,
criteria
yeah,
and
yeah. But if you were
their
to
sort of
change
thing.
it, you'd sort of uh,
Yeah. Even not so much like you don't even need to spin the wheels. You just need sort of like this sort of you go left and then right and then you can kind of see and it kind of slows the car down a little bit. Maybe not, but you can sort of as a chase car you get an indicator of what they're going to do and when and if you've got good spotters, then they can tell you, hey, this guy, he's every run that he's on lead, he's yanked the handbrake. So you're probably better off either small kick or pull the handbrake as well, or the spotter will tell you, now this guy, he just kicks every time. So if he's going hot, that he's going to keep accelerating out of that corner. So you've got to kick as well. And so that's what the spotter's there for.
well, yeah, and it's interesting. And this weekend with FD is going to be interesting because I sat and watched all of the sort of an hour and a half video where Lorette, the pit reporter for FD, goes around the pits and speaks to drivers and stuff like that. And she spoke to Ryan Sage, the owner of one of the owners of FD, at the very end, and they spoke just ever so slightly touched on it about that sort of thing being brought up this year, like uh, about how drivers are initiating and the judging being more strict on that or a little bit more uniform with it. And a few other things around that sort of criteria. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes of it this weekend because uh, guys like your Waterhouse guys doing, just sort of power skidding their last gear before initiation and then just being able to drop the hands and uh, flick get the car to flick rather than having to do a big sudden loss of traction through a clutch kick or a handbrake drag or anything like that. But it'll be interesting to see what direction it's gone. If they're sort of a bit more encouraging of that sort of little feint with a bit of wheel spin before you flick in,
Yeah.
the same as what the Waterhouse guys have been doing, and less
Yep.
towards because FD over the years has always cop shit for the FD entry of the handbrake drag and stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see if they're trying to push away from that, or if they're looking for sort of what
I hope.
D1NZ has started to push for, which seems that they only they only want that single motion into the corner, but I just don't think that promotes the car to flick as hard and to jump
Yeah.
onto angle as quickly.
No, I
Um,
think FD is about that single flick sort of thing, but I think it wasn't well defined.
yeah,
And for a competition that big, I haven't been to the briefing, so I'm not too sure. It's just that when you look at the initiations before, they were so random. Like some people would
Well,
stomp on
yeah,
it.
yeah, but FD even last year was like pretty much, this is where we want you to see. This is where we want to see the initiation. They've got their 3 initiation cones. As long as you initiate by
Yeah,
here, you can do whatever the hell you want. Then it's up to the spotter to
yeah,
work out, what somebody's doing, and then you've got to try and match it, sort of thing. But
yep,
there was just like I didn't even think anything of it until Ryan had sort of brought it up because after following FD so religiously for so many years, you sort of just accept like you know it's a team game still. Your team needs to work out what other guys are doing, and but even then, like if you were clutch kicking all weekend, then all of a sudden in some battle you did a big handbrake drag, the judges had been taking notes of what sort of entries people were doing, so you couldn't all of a sudden go and do some wacky shit uh, intentionally during the battle and not do something that you had been doing the rest of the time. So um, yeah,
yeah.
it'll
So
be.
that's why I think they should have been on that a long time ago. But
No, but again, like I think at that stage for them, they had guys coming in from different parts of the world, different styles, uh, you know, different entries suit their different types of tracks and things like that. So I guess for the time being, it was more about just seeing what people could do and giving them a little bit of freedom. But I think now more and more it's going to be about yeah, tighter and tighter battles because the series has really proven itself that as much as you love your hate your rolling burnout competitions, it's some of the tightest driving you see in the world, especially at the speeds that they're doing on some of their courses. Yeah, you see that sort of driving over in Europe and Japan, but some of those courses are a little bit slower than the stuff they're doing in the States. So. Even though
yeah,
Long Beach
they,
Long Beach is still a slow course, I think their initiation speed is only about 100k an hour. So um,
I've seen the FT drivers outside of America, and they can drive
yeah,
really
you say
well.
this
I
every
think
time, mate.
they, yeah, but they're just driving. They're doing the smart thing and driving how FD want them to
Yeah, yeah,
drive.
yeah. And
And
but again, I think the
I,
guys coming in
yeah,
from Europe have made that change a little bit. So and then the bowl tracks, and even most of the drivers who are there aren't huge fans of most of the bowl tracks because it doesn't lend itself to your style of drifting, throwing in the car
no,
and
but you can, no, but you can actually. There is a way to actually make the bowl style, the style that I like work in a bowl situation.
we shall
It's
see this
just
year
that
then.
It's just that they don't set it up, and I don't think it actually attracts that big a crowd if you do that sort of thing. I think the attraction is from the big, huge
No,
smoke show.
yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit, but they've been around long enough now. Like this is the start of their 16th season, so like they're an institution already, and so anybody who's a fan is going to stay a fan, and it will slowly bring new people in. I think I agree with that originally when they were trying to build a fan base and stuff like that, but people love certain drivers, hate other drivers over there, and uh,
yeah, but I think that's American culture.
yeah, yeah,
It's
of
like
course.
what they've done in other
Well, yeah, and
uh,
but
positions as
even
a spectator, other
but
sports.
the guy in the Ferrari last year, they spoke to him in the little video. If anybody wants
So
to see it, it's on FD's Facebook page, and
he's still in a Ferrari, isn't he?
yeah,
I
yeah,
saw him in looking through,
yeah.
but I didn't
So
get to that.
so last year after he had the big fire and all this sort of stuff, he copped so much shit. Like Formula Derp did a post and all this, and he got really upset by it and all this sort of stuff. But then I think he started through the season, he started to get it because it was the first round and first time in the States,
Yeah,
I think, and the fact that the car caught on fire, I think he was a little bit butthurt by that sort of thing. But then the support for him
you mean
grew. Um,
like people were giving him shit for it, like
yeah,
why
yeah, yeah.
and
No, no, or
doesn't
just
belong to
yeah, or just
Formula
no,
One.
no, just like catching on fire.
What are you doing? Okay.
And
It's almost like the Daigo thing with the Supra.
yeah, and but then in this video for the start of this season, he's like coming back this year. I get it. Like I understand American culture, and
Yeah.
he's like I'm falling in love.
And I think he probably gets the style that he should show off as
Yeah, yeah,
well.
the driving, but even if you get the style of driving, to have the passion to want to make that program work, you've got
No,
to
it's
enjoy what you're
not
doing.
just the driving, like to be a competitor, like
Well,
just to
that's why he's put a
to
supercharger and nitrous on that car now.
yeah.
So,
So yeah, just and think how many so many more people in that I don't know target market, target
yeah,
audience, or whatever. They'll be more interested in it. Like I think he's finally starting to get it
yeah.
what they're after.
Yeah, and
And
but it's just cool because like at first like because he's a die-hard Japanese driver. Like he spent a whole bunch of time over there in D1. Has one of the most nostalgic D1 cars parked in a garage that he owns. And he's gone to FD after all these years of Japanese driving and trying to push the sport in his home country. And after 1 year, at first he was like, "Well, this is the worst place in the world to be," and now he's like, now I understand the passion and I get it all. And yeah, I think that's where FD is sort of still a little bit above everybody else is because of that and just American culture in general uh, is
yeah,
why that is. So no, I'm excited for the start of this season. So I know you're
I mean,
probably not, but you're
more
interested, are you?
interested in an electric car actually.
Yeah, they spoke about that
Just-
electric car, and I know Benny's brought it up in the comments. Did you watch the little section where they spoke to those guys?
No, I was looking for it, but I didn't see
Ah,
it because
okay.
I did jump through.
Yeah.
I didn't actually sit down and listen to it. But
It, yeah, so I was wrong with some of my predictions on it and some of the stuff that I'd seen online. It's different to the drag car that they had going,
yep,
that Chev had sponsored and done. These guys have sort of done all this off their own back. So basically, it's running a Tesla rear end, so Tesla motor
yep.
in the back. But I believe if from what the guys on Maximum Driftcast had said, that it's only a single drive and not a dual drive. So like some of the Teslas now are coming with like a separate motor on each wheel, but I believe this only runs like one of the single motor setups and drives both wheels. So I think it's only going to be making something like 400 horsepower or something.
Jeez,
So
that's not
no,
much.
nah, it's
It's gonna get left behind.
but will it?
Yeah, it's gonna run out of legs.
But will it? Um,
Yeah, I think once it gets off a line, he's gonna run out of legs.
but why? Can't an electric motor spin up to you know whatever they sort of want it to do?
Yeah, but it's more like the overall amount you could push. Like the torque's there, but like you need the power behind it.
Yeah, but power in the sense of, but isn't it rotational speed? Like Paul
Yeah,
who's
but
in the comments
it's
will probably have
the
more ideas.
maximum. It's the maximum force it can put out.
Yeah, but surely
It's not the
just
amount of wheel torque. It's like the amount of forward. So when you're pushing against something, it's not the torque. It's the amount of power it can overcome. Like
yeah, I think I'm starting to get you.
yeah. So um, so the torque will disappear
Yeah,
when it's pushing
like a
at a
higher RPM sort of
against.
thing.
Um, well, the RPM's more like it's yeah, kind of. It's more like the resistance. It won't be able to overcome the resistance.
Yeah,
Yeah, even though it can spin and put down lots of power, it can't overcome the resistance back.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what it does. There was a really really short video of it from that they had released. Supposedly they've done a fair bit of testing in it, uh, but where it'll get interesting is sort of they've basically said they're playing it safe this year because there was a lot of questions from people about whether or not on a in Texas when it's 45 degrees Celsius if
Yeah.
they're going to be able to keep the batteries cool enough and all that sort of stuff, and they said they've got the cooling sorted, the battery can last, or uh, the bank can last all day, a whole day on one
Really?
charge. Yeah, and still give them the output that they need. You got to remember they're only doing X number of runs in a day, so
Yeah, but I'd imagine they'd get batteries that are drained so quickly because they're outputting so much power.
So these guys said, and go and have a look at it. Don't quote me word for word. Basically, they had a guy that was working for one of the car manufacturers in Michigan come down and help them with their battery technology. They've had a few other people helping with some of that stuff. So it sounds like this year it's purely prove the concept that an electric drift car can actually work, and
So
then
it's not going to be competitive. It's just going to be in the
well,
competition, but not competitive.
Uh, I don't think they'll know just yet until it's actually side by side with another car, and until you know, I guess, and I know some of the guys do it where they time a lap when they go to a track so that they have a rough idea whether or not they can get around a track at the same rate as, somebody else. I know Logan was doing that before he went down and uh, did a couple of rounds of high tech. He timed that sort of stuff to see how he would go. Um, so I would imagine that they want to be semi-competitive, but I would imagine they're probably aiming for top 16s maybe. I can't imagine that they're expecting to end up on the podium at all this season. So
Yeah, what I'm
and pl-
curious about is what controls they've put in place for the driver
it's got a
um,
so
to
I from what
to
I
overcome some automation.
yeah, so from what I saw from an in-car photo of it, it's got a handbrake and no shifter,
Yep.
but I believe it has a clutch pedal, but I don't know if the clutch pedal would just be hooked up to a like a switch or something like that, but just to make it feel more
Yeah.
natural for the driver. Um, so, because I don't know if like in those sort of things, if you can sort of clutch dip it and make it free spin, or
I don't know. It depends how
yeah.
they set it up. If it runs through a clutch or if it runs through a gearbox, even
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's running through a gearbox. I think
like
it's a single
no
speed.
like a yeah, but it would have
Oh yeah, single motor
like
would
a
have some sort.
gear
Yeah, yeah, like a
a
differential
gear
of some
set
sort, or
or even like a I have no idea. Like it could run through gears. I'm not sure.
yeah, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So hopefully those guys do more public stuff over the weekend with more information. Uh, but yeah, Connor, I'm aware that they don't have a clutch, but for some reason I'm pretty sure what I saw was what people were saying there's a clutch pedal in it. So I'm just wondering if it's some sort of uh, just some sort of it's done to
Free
a
spin mode,
yeah like a
or
free spin
if
switch or
actually is there is actually a clutch sitting in the driveline somewhere.
yeah like between the drive shaft and the actual
I
motor
don't
or
know.
something like that. So
It
uh,
could even be on the end of the wheel. Like it could be
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that stuff will be interesting
I,
because you're not
yeah.
gonna want just handbrake, which I guess could be set up with a switch or whatever. But you're gonna want to be able to like when you're behind a slow car and you sort of just do that little clutch dip sometimes just enough to check the car up. But I guess you do it to keep the revs up at the same time. But I don't know.
Yeah. And then
I
like, how do you get the thing? Because sometimes you use the bang to actually um, give you a surge forward as well. Like it'd be interesting. I really want to check it out. That's one car I'm interested in.
Paul in the comments is saying that some of it's sort of possible with stuff. So um, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I hope that we get to see some sort of uh, more in-car and then some foot cam and stuff like that that's matched up with some outer car, so you just sort of see what his input is and then how the car reacts
Oh,
to that. So
yeah. I wonder if there'll be like some sort of car overview, like a review walkthrough, sort of explain how everything going is works, or if it's all secret.
no, they don't seem that secretive about it, but I think they've just been so smashed trying to get it to work and to show proof of
Yeah.
concept. But it sounds like they've driven it a bit because Travis, the guy who's driving it, who won Pro 2 last season, was just like, I can tell you that I'm like comfortable enough in the car.
Yeah.
So
Because the other thing was the motor controller, and how much, if they're allowed to have, or how much control the motor controller has over acceleration, and how much the computer controls it as well. Because
well,
that'll be
And at this stage, FD's given them free reign on that. I'm pretty sure. And then
Yeah,
then if things seem a bit funny and a bit sketchy, then they'll sort of tighten up the regs.
yeah. So, um, that's yeah. I'm just no. That's yeah. Electric motor could do a clutch kick if it has a clutch and a flywheel.
Yeah, and because it's the driveline having to catch up to the engine, the motor speed, right?
There isn't enough information about the car
Yeah,
to say no or yes it can. It's more it would be more what's in there
yeah. You couldn't
and
clutch kick a Tesla, a current Tesla, but who knows what they've modified to make it possible.
yeah. So I wouldn't say no. It's not impossible. Not it's not possible. It's more like this is all speculation about what it might have and if it does, what it can do, or how it does it. It's not. Yeah, there's no way. I don't think unless you saw the car or you know the car, then um, you wouldn't be able to say any statements about it.
Yeah, definitively. But and all of it is somewhat, yeah, is possible. Provided they've got people who know what they're doing and it, mechanically functions. Uh, I really do hope that they do some more public info.
Yeah,
Like just
yeah. I really want to go over the car and just explain what they've done
especially
and how
like
they
especially now while
why.
it's still so basic. Because they're talking like doing this season as is, and if they can prove the concept, they're going to go mental. Because this year they're trying to keep it safe. People are talking shit about fire risk and all this, but it sounds like they've got a good cooling system in place and all this sort of stuff. So they're not trying to punch a whole lot of extra amperage or whatever. I'm probably using wrong words, and Connor and Paul will shut me down for it. Uh, but you know, they're just trying to make it last through the season, and then next season they'll go absolutely mental on it and try and push the boundaries of the electric car once they can prove the concept. And because I would imagine, round to round, there's probably going to be significant changes. Shit, they might have even, pure speculation, might have prototyped some stuff up and gone, okay, for the first round we're going to try this, and if it's not working, well, we've already got this other um, this other system in place to try. So uh, that would definitely be cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
Emerson
I
saying
really
that they should,
keen to see it.
yeah, that they need to do a build breakdown out uh,
Hoonigan.
at Hoonigan.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they do now that they've got that burn yard in the car park at Irwindale after they got kicked out of there. Well, not allowed to do burnouts at the workshop anymore.
Ah, what? So
Ho-
there's no more manline anymore.
nah, no more manline. They've got like a cool little burnout set in the car park at Irwindale. Um, yeah, just be interesting to see. Yeah, there was an AE86 that Paul's mentioned that was electric that Hoonigan had at the garage a while ago, but I think it was set up. You know how like the garage sort of builds that we had here, even with electric cars. I think Mighty Car Mods might have bought one on one of their road trip things where sort of the electric motor mounted up to a standard uh, drive line and that sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure that AE86 was like that, not like this with the sort of the motors in the back.
I,
So
I don't know. No, I didn't see it.
uh, Matt Harvey's mentioned JTP's changing his car halfway through the season. Yeah, he had some interesting comments to make. Uh, when he built his first Mustang, he sort of just put it together, gussets everywhere, all this sort of stuff, and he's found that in the early half of the season early half of the season is Long Beach with it's not a super fast entry. Uh,
Yep.
then Orlando, which is just the two corner bowl, and it's one of not the smallest bowl they go to, but the second smallest bowl they go to. Then Atlanta, which is your more traditional drift course and fairly slow, other than the big entry down the hill.
Yeah, I don't mind Atlanta.
Um,
That's a good one.
and then I think even Jersey's the next one after that, and that's the slowest bowl of all of them. But then all of a sudden they're going to tracks that they're well over, 120, 130, 140k initiations, and he said that the big car there, struggles. So he's actually in the middle of building another car, and I'm guess,
Strong.
yeah, like because it's just so heavy. the Mustang's already a heavy car, and he over fabricated the car, and it's interesting because you sort of look at all these these big builds from overseas, even Australia, and guys are putting all these gussets in to make it look cool and look nice, and our JTP's talked
Yeah,
about making the hoop the right size to fit right up in the car, and then welding that straight to the you know
for
the
sure.
straight to the shell, and not doing away with the extra bars that it's not needed, and all that sort of
Okay.
stuff,
I,
and being able
I
to shave
saw
a whole lot of weight out of that car or out of
I saw
another shell.
yeah, I saw a comment about um I think one of our previous guests, Michael Solomon, commented about this really pretty car that's being built, I assume, or maybe it's already built. It's like full, what's it called? Cut front. What's it called?
Tube front.
Tube front. Yeah, full tube front. Gussets everywhere, including inside the cabin.
I think I've seen
And
that
then
one. Is it like all raw
yeah,
metal at the moment, like really shiny and stuff
yeah,
like that? Yeah.
super shiny. And then I think he commented, which is probably a good observation, that it's either showing off the fabricated skill, or it's a money sort of thing,
Yeah.
and it's not really like necessary for a good design drift build.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a few like that, and FD, because they've got the tire to weight um rule, and they scale the cars or weigh the cars. They've all been across the scales in the last couple of days. Uh, you might want to put that extra bar work in, or a few extra bars somewhere to bring the weight of the car up to go up into the next class of tire. It seems like a few of the guys have been trying to move downsize, and go
Really?
for a yeah and go for a go go lighter car, and end up potentially on a smaller tire, purely to shave some weight out of them. So, and
Because generally, yeah, I've heard that they've added weight just to get the lighter
yeah,
tire size.
yeah, and but I think that used to be more under, and I think Fink is one of the uh, big people who says it in Australia, that you can cover up bad setup by just sticking big grippy tires on the car, because you can be lazy uh, with car setup, when you know a guy like Mitch Doyle is able to snap GTR shafts with 235 street tires on the car. That tells you that he's able to push those wheels into the ground, and push the weight of the car into the ground to get them driving. So I think more of the FD guys have spent more time developing that. It's what I'm excited about with the series as well. They're a lot more. They're probably not more transparent than other series, but because they're in the limelight a little bit more, and all the drivers are happy to share a lot of their not super technical info, but we've shifted more weight back. We've changed, given ourselves a little bit more of Ackerman adjustment. I know that's what Vaughan and Chelsea were talking about, that they've played with their steering stuff a little bit to make the cars a little bit faster in drift, but still have that same amount of lock, and things like that. So I'm excited to see all that stuff, and to see how these cars have been developed. And even speaking of those Mustangs, from my understanding from watching the video, those guys have got the biggest tire in the series, because their cars are still some of the heaviest, but they've gone to a more street-based tire for their rears, and not running the NTO 5s on the rear anymore. So instead of getting barely 2 laps out of them on the track, they're now looking at almost 4 laps for a pair of tires. And I don't think that's a cost-cutting thing. I think that's uh, a predictability thing, so that the tires aren't falling off as they're coming through the last corner of a drift track, and then all of a sudden it's like grip, 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 grip. Ah, shit, I have absolutely nothing. Because I don't think they're going to keep them on for 2 battles. If they get a rerun, they're going to go and change them. But I think it just
Yeah,
means that they can lay their foot into it, and not have to be like, oh shit, I need to conserve,
yeah.
because especially
It
if you
could grip disappear
yeah,
instantly.
especially if you lead first. Like, you lead first, you just blow the tires off the thing, and then all of a sudden you can't keep up. And I know a couple of years ago that was issue Mad Mike was having, even in his car, chasing in one of the rounds. Uh, yeah, couldn't keep tires on the car, and it kept being this huge discrepancy between the two cars in the battles. So, uh, 31540 18s. such a big tire, such a big tire. So yeah, I don't know. It's really cool, and I like all that development stuff. And I think these guys, because they're you know one of the biggest series in the world, and so many have been doing for so long, uh, you start to see more and more development. I think that's what's got me sort of excited for this season. So,
Hmm.
and then I don't know if we spoke about it last week. A little bit of an Aussie connection over there. So Mitch Lana's driving for
Yeah,
Get Nuts Lab,
we did.
but then also the fact that there are guys out here helping him with his stuff. So his livery's been announced. Hard Tuned is doing his merch. So Hard Tuned has a bunch of his merch and a limited run of jackets and stuff like that, with more stuff to come. I believe Loz is over there for the event, and he was uh, asking, how does it compare to a World Time Attack or something like that. So,
Yep.
and I think you'll be surprised at just how crazy the Americans are for it. So it should be really good. Um, yeah, Jake just saying about Vaughan's and Chelsea's car. They can run a 150 shot of nitrous up to a 300 shot, and the car will make 1200 horsepower from a naturally aspirated motor. I think for this weekend they said they were going to keep it, down because they don't need it for that, but for the fastest
So
tracks,
just like 150 shot and that's it.
yeah, just a 150 shot, just a wet shot to keep the motor cold or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'd definitely do that. If it was FD, I'd definitely run some sort of wise fabby setup with lots of horsepower,
yeah, but
and that's it.
but it'll be interesting to see this year because I know that the WiseFab 2 kit has, now been out, but I'm pretty sure James and Peter were running that last year, and there was changes made to their stuff. I doubt it was, you know, straight off the factory floor. But WiseFab S chassis are slow. Like the reality is, once they're right out on lock,
You
they're
just need to pump out the smoke and keep accelerating.
yeah, but accelerating comes from getting drive out of a car, and if it's not getting enough drive out of it, then
Just get the other car will hit you and they'll spin. Just gotta keep going. Don't worry about it.
but if
Or they'll check themselves up and two wheels off or some shit like that, and
yeah,
whatever, they'll straighten because they can't hit.
yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where like those guys have got years under with those cars, so I'm sure they'll still be fast. But now that they've brought that consistency to the game, everybody's looking for a fair bit of consistency. So uh, yeah, I don't know. Some of the big guys have just come back with more refined packages. The fact that Chris Forsberg's now running a GTR motor instead of trying to build VQs uh, should make that car a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, because that was surprisingly unreliable, I thought.
Well, he went from running a V8 that he never, a V8 on nitrous that never had problems, and then they tried to build VQs so that Nissan could use it for
Yeah.
R&D, and I think he said he did 10 motors in 2 seasons or
Yeah.
something. Like,
I remember, yeah, he's saying how much the motor broke, and I thought that was really weird, but then, of course, your motor broke as well,
yeah.
so, and
So,
it's a similar design.
yeah. And then, so now he's got a GTR motor, so he said the car's been the best it's been. So, excited for guys like that to feel like they're
Competitive
back in
again.
form, and Osmo staying in the Corolla instead of moving to a Supra, which was potentially on the table, but they wanted to show what that car was capable of, because I think it's the first time,
Corolla.
yeah, because it's the first time in like 4 seasons that they've gone back-to-back seasons with the same car, because that was another, like, yes, they've done 2 seasons prior in a Corolla, but there was two different Corollas, so now they've spent a season with that car and we'll have another season with it. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm hoping the consistency is right up, and I know it won't make for. Hopefully, it doesn't make for too many reruns unless it's drivers I really like. I want to see them drive again. Uh, but I'm hoping that the mistakes they're looking for are, it's the difference between cars being 10 centimeters apart and 20 centimeters apart or something like that, and you just notice that different through a run rather than in previous years where it's been cars breaking, people just not being up to scratch, uh, people crashing. that sort of stuff. So hopefully
Yeah, because the
it's
other thing is there's more people in pro.
yeah 37 registered for the first round. So 5 guys aren't making it through, and Byron hopefully won't be making an appearance in the top 32.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And there's going to be sort of when you think through the list or have a look through the list of guys, there's not too many that you don't want to see in that top 32. So it's going to be interesting to see, who's not making the cut, and yeah, just even having mechanical dramas and not being able to put in at least one shitty qualifying run isn't going to be enough to make you make it through anymore. So, it's cool. Did you look at any of Forrest Wang's Instagram stuff? If anybody actually
What's
wants to see any of,
Instagram?
if any,
What is
yeah,
that?
because you're a fucking old cunt. If if anybody actually wants to see any of the driving from Media Day that was on, sort of yesterday slash today, uh, Forrest Wang's Instagram story they were live for most of one of the sessions, and yeah, pretty good perspective from the main grandstand, and I was just surprised at how hard a lot of the guys were going that early. Some of the guys were, a couple of feet off the wall and sort of keeping mid-track most of the way through. Um, but then all of a sudden, a few guys got more comfortable and were right on walls, and then running really tight tandems. So, and I think that's what got.
Media, is Media Day restricted for laps as well as
So media,
practice?
so media day is restricted to only drivers who drove the track last year.
Okay,
So,
and they can do as many laps as they want.
I think within reason. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because I know practice laps.
Yeah,
They're
restricted on the.
12.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I don't think that falls under that because
yeah, no,
they're trying to get the best
yeah.
coverage for the news and sort of media outlets that come out to that, and they're giving sponsor runs at rides and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it, but I think the time, like, because I think they've got to open and close one of the public roads throughout the day. I think yeah, they don't run all day. It's just a couple of hours, and they can only get so many laps in. Um, but yeah, should be a few dark horse guys like Matt Harvey said in the comments. Pat Gooden jumping in Matt Field's old S14, and it's a proven car. And then a dude who always showed that he could sort of drive, but you know always struggled with his own program. So I don't know. I'm excited for it because it's back to being more than a full field, and it's the first time it's been more than a full field since there was the nice clear line split between Pro 1 and Pro 2. So these guys should all be sort of up to scratch and good enough. Uh, and hopefully the cars are all good enough. And then, well, what I mean is like the Camaro and stuff like that. It's like I'm just hoping that car is enough, and it can put itself in the top 32. It would be a shame if all season we don't see it because it's just not fast enough or good enough to make a top
Yeah.
32. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you're excited, but I am.
Are you going over there this year?
Nah. I was thinking about trying to get over for Atlanta, but it's the same weekend as the Bash, and yeah,
And the bash is better.
yeah, I want to drive. The only other round I thought about maybe trying to go over there because I have friends in Texas was going.
Arundel.
Nah, I was going. Nah, because they don't run Pro 2 at Irwindale. So this year they ran
Really?
Pro 2 as the final. But so since the last time I was at Irwindale, after it was shutting down for 15 years in a row or whatever, they sold
Yeah.
off half the pit area to a logistics company next door. So the pit area is not very big, and they struggled with fitting all the cars for Pro 2 and Pro 1 in the pit area, and it was just got congested and dangerous with crowd and stuff like that. So they've moved the Pro 2 final to the second last round at Texas. So I've thought about I have friends in Texas, so I could fly over, and it's only one flight straight into Dallas, and stay with friends wouldn't cost me that much. So I have had thoughts. So if I'm gonna go over, I want to go over for a round that has both Pro 1 and Pro 2, just so you see the most drifting you possibly can.
So which course is that one?
Texas Motor Speedway. It's one of the road courses. It's not
Children's.
a bowl. They come in. It's like a big hairpin, and then there's like a switchback, and then there's like a little wall that they put in temporarily, and then
I
the
know,
guy
and that's the one. Yeah, that
Vaughn Gittin Jr. rode
that
his car off a few
yeah, he
years ago.
rolled into that wall and
Yeah.
he
Oh, the Danny,
flipped and
yeah, Danny George rolled his car, the BMW,
yeah.
in that, and then
Okay,
yeah, and Vaughn rode his car off and couldn't do the final at Irwindale one year because he wrote the car off so badly.
because they're that's they're not all tracks, are they? Like one's an access road that they run over, or is
No,
it all track?
nah, they're all sort of track, but it looks like an access road, but it's inside,
Yeah,
but it's inside the main bowl at Texas Motor Speedway. So,
yeah, okay,
um,
yeah, interesting.
yeah, it's a good track. So they used to run it the other way, and it
That's-
was super fast, similar to St. Louis. So
And that's when Forrest had that thing, the incident, wasn't it? That people
nah,
talked about. It's a
nah,
different
nah,
course.
nah. That was New Jersey. That's just the little bowl where his like rear arm
Okay.
broke or whatever, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, he moved in, or like someone said he brake checked and
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
bumped the other car. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. There was one incident I know that was with Forsberg, and that was at New Jersey. So,
Okay,
um,
that's cool. And what's the chance of getting shot if you go over there?
probably less than if you go to New Zealand.
Shit. Jesus. I was making fun of Americans, but all right.
I lived there for 4 years and I didn't get shot. So,
Yeah.
I literally lived at one stage in like one of the hoodie parts of, not the hoodiest, but one of the hood parts of Detroit. So, nah, I don't know. People are friendly if you know them. Most of the time, people shoot people they don't like. So, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything else super noteworthy. If anybody has anything noteworthy that they've seen since Media
Um,
Day and what's coming up, uh, comment it.
just before we go too far, because I know our last week's guest said hello, and so I just want to say hello back because I know
It's
he's
all
really
about the
big
shout
on
outs.
yeah. So hello, Mark. Thanks for watching. What was the name of that YouTube channel again? I don't know. I've forgotten. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else that we've seen recently. What's round 2 of SA Drift Series is coming up?
3.
3.
You rude.
Sorry, round 3 in
Oh,
2.5.
yeah, I'm glad you brought up this. God, they've been putting out some cool professional videos.
Yeah,
Like,
and the content's been like
that's what I mean.
consistent. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, anybody who
even
hasn't been
even
following,
yeah,
I'm gonna pull it up in front of your face because nobody needs to see your
okay.
face the whole time. It won't have sound or anything. Keep talking while I interrupt you.
So yeah, they've been pretty consistent with their posting, which is really cool. And they've had videos. I think the most recent video I saw was Aussie, who we've been trying to get on the show, but he keeps.
You haven't been following close enough. Yes, there's the video that Aussie doing the layout for round 3, but they've also been doing driver profile videos.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is
I had
one.
Troy. I saw Troy's one.
Yep, and then there's one up today from of Dale Campaign. I can't drag this across because too many people are sending me messages during it, and it's just gonna show up.
What, through YouTube? Oh no, through Facebook.
Nah, it's on Facebook. I'd have to turn off my chat. Nah, I can't be bothered.
Okay.
But yeah, have a look at Drifting SA. I just wish other series would take the initiative to do this sort of thing. And this is a bunch of volunteers not pushing a product, putting these videos out, and yeah, it'd just be cool to see.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I just it's only it's taken a couple of rounds for them to get into it, but shit, these guys have only been helping run this stuff for the last 10 minutes really, because G1 used to be basically dictated by the track owners, and now that Drifting SA is heavily involved. Yeah, there's been one of Troy on the 1st of April, and then Tate Lindstrom, who's the one-armed bandit. I don't know if you've seen that video.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video, but I did see the post.
Yeah, and then there's been one of Dale. So yeah, I don't know. It's just it makes me excited for that series, and seeing Ozzy's video and then that stuff with Dale almost makes me want to put the car on a trailer once I have a trailer and a car that works, and get down the road and do a round because.
Have you driven your car yet? Your new
No,
car?
I haven't driven the new car yet, but I'm shaking it down next Saturday. So.
But you've seen it, right?
Yeah, it runs.
Yeah.
It works.
Okay.
It blows a little bit
What
smoke.
color is it?
It's silver.
Okay.
Not grey like the original one. It's silver. So. Oh, my D-Max fake bonnet showed up today too. So.
Fake bonnet?
Yeah, it's like the same as Fink's and the same as Lucy's. Yeah, it's just a rep D-Max bonnet.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah. All right. I didn't. I thought you might have been talking about something else, which I didn't understand. Okay.
So, Benny said that Drift West has been good on Instagram, trying to keep in touch with fans and competitors and what to expect. See, now I'm confused with WA, and I need to do more research. So there's D1 WA, and now Drift West is about to start up for its season or something. Because I saw that they posted up a video of how they're going to run sort of a new layout where they, when ADGP went there last and they sort of ran through that sort of really wide section running the track backwards. Nah, you don't follow drifting, do you, mate?
I don't even know why.
See ADGP. I don't even know why.
That would have been on TV. I
don't even know why we talked to you.
No, ADGP hasn't been online in ages. You have to either buy the DVD or you need to watch it on 7
No,
Prime.
they uploaded all those episodes on YouTube. They've been there for ages.
Is this recent?
No, a couple of years.
Is it before ADGP fell over?
I don't know. But it's there. Yeah. So they sort of
go back and watch them.
They do a layout that sort of loops back on itself. So, yeah, I don't know. It's cool, but it's crazy to think they've got two series running over there, sort of using the same, not the same track layouts, but just using the same facilities and all that. Anybody who's wanting to do round 3 of Drifting SA Summer Series, there's a really good Airbnb in Tailem Bends that you can stay at. So if I don't make it down for it, which I won't,
and I think he said free firewood, and there's no restrictions on the amount of people.
Yeah, he said free wood and no restrictions on the number of people. I'm not sure what the free wood was, but considering he lives in the back of a van most of the year, I'm a bit sus on that part.
I'd like to go over to Perth actually and have a look as well. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but if I'm gonna go that far, I'd like to drive.
Get a lesson from go get one of Ken's cars and have a drive with him.
It's sold out for the next round, so we'll just have to go and camp in the yard. But yeah, I'm honestly super proud of Drifting SA for the content that they've started to put out. I'm not sure who's doing that content. I'm not sure if Will's watching tonight, but if Will's involved with that and pushing for that, well done, guys. Because it's awesome. Really, really well done. Really professional. Just wish other series were helping drivers do that stuff. And I'm not.
He said intros. Remember?
When?
Yeah, they did live stuff. So remember they leading to an event, they would actually do a live stream of a.
Oh yeah, when they give the driver the login to the social media account and stuff like that. Yeah, all that sort of stuff's cool. And then they let some other dickhead do pit reports or something during Mount Gambier last year.
That was pathetic.
Yeah, pretty pathetic. They had a good live stream of the diving competition after the event though.
So, what was it? I was gonna mention something. Oh, that's right. I saw our friends at Revolution Motorsports. They have a new website. I think they're putting merchandise up for sale there as well, which is cool. Did you see that?
I did. It's pretty basic, the website. I don't think merch or anything's up there yet.
I haven't clicked on it.
No,
I haven't clicked on it yet.
see, I've clicked on it. Yeah, not much up there yet. But they've alluded to a private day coming up soon. So, like, I think it's an invite only thing or just for their guys, but they alluded to a private day. So interested to see what comes out from that. I have a rough idea what that might be. It's not Luddenham. But yeah, excited to see what comes of that because that could be good things. And then just well, I don't know, it was tonight, that really good show maybe. Ian Baker's put up a post showing South Circuit and then saying, wouldn't it be good to run a event here?
So Ian Baker, the guy that
Mr. World Time Attack.
Yeah, that is a
owns World Time Attack.
Promoter.
Owner.
Promoter. Yeah, owner promoter of World Time Attack.
Yeah.
So might see drifting there, even though I think when we were talking about it, you did bring up a point about it'd be nice to get some of the audience on the inside of the track. So
yeah, I'm not like I actually shared a video. Did you see my video I shared today from 3 years ago?
With someone else, there's 2 cars, including you.
Yeah. See my mad single flick entry. How good am I?
I didn't watch the video. I just kept scrolling.
Fucking rude cunt. I love South Circuit as a driver's track. From a spectator point of view, it's not my favorite layout at Sydney Motorsport Park to watch on. I think it just that to have a good vantage point of the whole track, you as a spectator, you're just really really far away from the cars.
What do you mean? You can see the entry, like
no. I'm not saying you can't see everything, but I'm saying if you go and sit right up hard against the fence, then you sort of lose good vantage of other bits and pieces of the track. So I've been there for
stop driving after they get over the crest, or they stop drifting.
But I don't know. I like being able to see the whole battle, so I always sit somewhere that I can see most of it.
That part doesn't matter because it's separation. The closest part is the first corner.
That's great, but I still want to see. But it's pointless if somebody goes spearing off the track and I miss it, then I get upset that I haven't seen it. So
if they do it up the top, then they're doing something wrong anyway. It's not worth watching.
All right, well, I'll let you pick the spot that we sit at for World Time Attack this year and where we talk shit from.
Just try and score an inside spot. He's better.
Yeah, we'll just get media vests and go in the inside.
We just tell them who we are, and then we'll just say we have to go on that side of the track.
Then we'll probably get shot.
No, I'll just say, no, you don't understand. This guy is Olympic figure skater Greg Merriman, and then they'll listen to it. I won't say who I am.
No, I think you've got to say we're from the crutch kick, and you're going to get crutch kicked if you don't let us in. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I just prefer North for World Time Attack because it's an exhibition event, big noise, big speed.
Yeah,
you can get
as long as people understand that it's an exhibition.
Yeah, you can get pretty close to the cars in most of the way around.
I think people like it too because it's long, sweeping corner, big burnout out.
Yeah, Emerson, I have a present for you. Because you only get to go in that spot because you have a media vest, and the rest of us plebs who don't have a name in media have got no chance of getting in there. So yeah, Emma said it's a magic place to watch from is the inside of South Circuit. So thanks for destroying all our hopes and dreams. Yeah, but I don't know. It's good because I think you could probably fit even more spectators on that South Circuit sort of part because it's got like the big sort of bowl section that heads down towards turn 1.
And they've got one bridge already. Just build another one.
Yeah, that would be.
Make one of those temporary ones. The ones they put up for the supercars
and all that.
Yeah, just grab one of those, and because you just need that section over the top of Well, no, they can put it near the pits too, can't they? Yeah, and then make them walk over.
Oh, you could, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could do it over the pits, and then you're already on corporate, and then
Yeah.
you walk over. And considering it should be a no speed zone, but I don't know. This is pure speculation. But when Ian Baker's talking about that, I can't imagine it's a standalone drift event that he's talking about running. Sadly, from a pleb drifter point of view now, I ain't getting an entry into that event, so I don't see any benefit of being on South because I don't get to drive it. It would just be good because it means that drifters have a separate pit area, and even though they've had it,
Yeah.
but just a nicer set up pit area and all that sort of stuff. But
I liked when they had it together, and I liked when they had it separate.
yeah,
So, together it made it easier to look around at everything. You just went to the main pit area, and you could see all the cars.
yeah,
And it was nice and easy. But it wasn't as nice as like being spread out on South Circuit pit area.
yeah. So it'll just be interesting, and considering the event was potentially not even going to return there this year, and it's now returning there. Maybe they're just trying to look for a different formula. But I would imagine it will continue with being run the 2 nights of the event and not run the same way FD was when FD was on a totally separate on a third day. So,
Yeah.
I think Hitech did tried to piggyback 1 year off it like that as well. So yeah. Matt Harvey's mentioned that Matt Van Kirk, the FD driver who won the first round of Hitech, is driving round 2, and he's driving our friend Paul Alexander's S13, which somebody borrowed it at the first round. Senatani borrowed that car after his 33 shit itself at round 1. So Matt will be driving that car at round 2. So I think while he's winning and he's on top, I think he's going to keep coming back trying to find cars to drive. So hopefully he can match that with some top 16s and stuff like that in FD. So yeah, that's good to know. Doesn't help me or you because I'm going to be trying to T-bone the shit out of Daigo Saito. So well, you're probably busy trying to T-bone the shit out of me.
Yeah, or I'll be fixing my car because it's going to be broken.
Then you can just drive. No, I've actually sworn to not let you drive the new car. So
what? Really? Why?
Because you killed it.
No, I didn't kill it. I'm pretty sure
killed the
you were
first one.
driving at the time when it died.
Yeah, I was. But like,
Yeah, so you killed it.
yeah, but that's like me trying to carry like the almost dead body to hospital. Like you've already stabbed it like a million times. Ooh.
It's dead to begin with.
So Paul Alexander's building a new car. Oh yeah, I know which one that is. That might have an inline 6. And the LS car is going to be a lone slut car. I wish I had a supercharged V8 car with Wisefab as my lone slut car.
Do you?
His car's good. That car, like, I've never seen it. I'm gonna knock on wood for you, Paul. I've never seen that car have major dramas. So that car's been around a long time too. No, Jake, you cannot still drive my car. Canberra people are banned from driving my car. You're all banned. Anybody red stage or with red in their name is banned. Is banned.
Who's got red in their name?
No, like just any team with red in their name, with red in their crew name. You're all banned. That's right, Nick. Don't get upset. You're not. EG told me you're not Team Red Stage, so you can drive it. He's got the Lone Star. He's got the Lone Wolf tattoo like Chaz Michaels in Blades of Glory.
Danger Zone. You seen the sticker on his car?
Yeah, all I figured that was to make his life more difficult when he's driving and he can't see.
Oh, don't you know his Facebook page?
No, I follow Real Drifting, mate.
And meanwhile, you talk about FD all the time.
Yeah, I love a good roll and burnout.
That's like a conflicting statement. Conflicting statement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab the keys to your car next time, without you knowing. You can't keep an eye on all the time.
Yeah, I'll just keep the keys.
No, you won't.
I'll put on one of those. Jake's now Team Catherine stage. Oh, we need to talk about that.
What's that?
Before we get to it, I'm gonna get the key holders that are like the long chain that like pulls out from it, and then hook it on. Like the retracting dog leashes. I think you can get that shit for keys. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna get that for my keys. So every time I pull it out of the ignition, it just like snaps back to my pocket.
Yeah, you just get scissors and you just cut that string.
No, I'm gonna get it like with like cable or something, so it makes it harder. You have to run up with like bolt cutters.
Side cutters would be fine.
Then you might cop me somewhere else.
Or you just unclip it from your belt.
Yeah, you could, but you don't come in for extra friendly hugs, so I'll know that something shady's going on.
I'll just send Jake and then he'll do that. It's pretty normal.
So, Team Catherine stage. Did you see his video?
Yep.
Yeah, you saw his video. You shared it, or somebody.
Which one?
Team Red stage did. His monster truck height thing.
Yeah, he's going for a Kawabata style.
Yeah,
I think.
So Jake, comment in the comments. That's where you're supposed to comment. Don't send it to me as a message because you send me rude stuff instead. Did you fix the wheel alignment to leave it at that height, or had you purely just wound up the bloody?
No, Jake's pretty lazy. I reckon he would just left it at that.
So just wound it up. It's probably got like mad load of positive camber and like all sorts of weird shit going on, and just driven it.
Oh, I'll be alright. It's such a slow course. Like it was only like second
No, I
gear.
understand that, but I don't know if Jake would have been fussy and just been like, oh, I'll at least pull out some of the camber and like positive camber, or he would have just been like, I'm just gonna drive it. Wouldn't have it towed in heaps too once you raised it? Wouldn't have the front towed in a bunch?
Yes.
So I can't imagine that you'd want to drive it. Said, I'm just too lazy to lower it after transport. Yeah, but did you dick with the wheel alignment or did you just send it?
You have to wait.
Oh yeah, he got a wheel alignment. Okay. So, nah, cool. But good driving. I love the fact that people in Darwin were like, "Who's this guy? Like, what's in that car? Like all this sort of stuff." It's like he showed up somewhere and they're like, "Oh my god, there's this random dude that we don't know who can actually drive well." So.
Yeah, I had Mitch Doyle messaging me saying he sent me a photo of Jake's car, and I said, "Yeah, I agree. It looks like shit." It's so embarrassing to see it like that.
It's pretty funny.
No, I didn't say that, but he says he's driving really well, and he thought it was a bit weird to see a red stage car up there.
Yeah.
But I don't think many people knew that he moved up there.
Hey, so if Jake, you come down and drive my car, can I go up there and drive your car at Hidden Valley on the main circuit? I ain't doing that drift Kana crap. So.
I don't think you're ready for the main circuit.
Go back and watch my single flick entry on the South Circuit, mate.
Just can you put it on here?
But it's on Facebook, and I'm worried. Like I feel like as soon as I put Facebook up, that people are gonna start sending me rude messages.
I hope so.
Dick
pics and.
Let's see what I can do. Makes me feel nostalgic too. Back to the original car that didn't give me too many problems. How do I even turn off chat?
I just click offline. I'm pretty sure. Offline.
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, there's a settings cog, and then you should just be able to.
There's options, and then it's like chat sounds, emojis, block settings, collapse all chat, hide all chat.
Oh, you're right.
Chat off.
No, I'm pretty sure I've seen the offline option. Ugh, Jesus.
It used to be, but now there's like a million things.
Yeah, it's way too slow to help you out with this.
I don't know. Let's see what sort of messages I get once I put it up.
No, not help you with this. My internet's way too slow.
Alright.
I'm sure you can turn chat off.
There we go. Boom. I'm pretty proud of that. You'll probably only see it now, but I used to be good once. I didn't even know what I was doing back then. I'd literally just wiggle the wheel. No, I'm like, oh, I've seen something like this from. Of course, I start getting messages. Please don't message
You hit
again.
the brakes for. You hit the brakes before you initiated.
No,
you
I
should have just
didn't.
like flicked it.
Nah.
Yeah, you did. Go. Yeah. Oh no, my internet's too slow. Jesus. No. All that wise fab.
That's when my car used to be mad.
Actually, it's here. Popped up in my feed.
Nah, I'm the front car.
Oh my god. This internet is ridiculous. Soon I'll have internet.
That's what I said
One
for ages, and it took a while.
I'll install it in Corwell.
So first round of Teeter is next weekend, the same as the weekend of Drifting SA.
Yeah, you got scared and you hit the brakes. Look at it.
Nah.
Well, either that or it's just the light. Like
Nah, it's just the light because it doesn't dim again.
Sure. It's really hard to tell in the video.
Nah, you're just trying to put shit on me, mate.
Yeah, I can't tell.
Because my center brake light would come on too, because I'm pretty sure that was still plugged in.
Was it?
Yeah.
Did you break it?
No. I didn't break it all.
No. Okay. It just looks like the lights light up, that's all.
Nah.
In my view.
I wish I still had that car. That was the best car.
And why did you give that up? What was wrong with it?
It didn't have a weld-in full cage.
And that was it?
Yeah. Oh, and it didn't have a forged motor. But a forged motor didn't last very long, so.
So what does that tell you?
Oh yeah, that's why I have a stock 350
motor.
now.
Yeah, so. Stock motor.
Yep. Sad but true.
And you can just put it in bolting cage.
Well, that's what the 350's getting, mate. So.
There we go.
To do things over again, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that and I was like, oh, I'm pretty proud of that one. But that was also when I was driving a crap load. I was driving every
And you're actually practicing.
Yeah, driving every couple of weeks. So
yeah.
So we'll see what happens in the next little while. Anything else you want to touch on? Oh, did you see that lit competition from France? The one that Dylan shared in the community group.
Oh, the one, yeah. No,
I'm shipping the 350 over to France.
Okay, you have to explain why. I heard it was an awesome competition, and people were commenting everywhere how great it was.
Yeah, there was some guy from some guy from Victoria who, amazing driver himself, and I thought it was a bit rich of him to put some comments on Facebook about it, but yeah, it was pretty woeful.
In Australia,
there was a lot of spinning and a lot of non-complete runs and stuff like that.
At least I entered. Did you enter, Greg?
Well,
I don't think you did.
But that's those people's general attitude, and then they write negative comments. So double standards.
No, you're joking.
So yeah, so I'm gonna send my car to France. I think I can win.
Really?
Honestly, I think I saw maybe two cars finish a lap.
I met a French guy in 2011 at Evisu, and he was saying that it's really hard to get away with a modified car, like a street car's modified, so they have to be track only. And
Yeah, most
so
places probably don't have much space. Like the couple of places I've been in France, you don't have yards and stuff like that. So I'd
either
imagine.
it's, I don't know, but they were saying that it's really, so you won't get like a club level, like a, here you sort of slightly modify your car, you get a silver exhaust intercooler, blah blah blah, and then you take it to the track. And then apparently you can't do that. You actually have to take a stock car, otherwise you get really busted
Oh,
by the
that's
police
weird.
if you change something. Or you just run the gauntlet. I guess you could do that, but apparently it's really really bad. So you'd have a track car, and so I guess is that the kind of thing that only rich people could
Yeah,
go drifting?
probably. Most of the cars look not that exciting. So yeah, I would imagine that's sort of a little bit of the case. Um, so we're
So
gonna
what
try.
was it? Yeah.
So what's our plan for next week? Hey, Matt Harvey, you gonna come on next week? He's still watching and he's been watching the whole time. So we should have actually messaged him this week. Hey Matt, you're coming on next week. All right, perfect. Too easy. We'll see you next week. Um,
If you don't reply, then it means you agree.
yeah, that's a yes.
Yeah.
Don't forget next week we'll also be at our new improved time of no daylight saving time at 8 o'clock because you got to move your clock this week.
Yeah, that's right. We
Gain
gain.
an hour.
So
You move your clock back.
so we'll essentially be on late.
Kind of, but it's still 8 o'clock. We'll just be at 8 o'clock, same time as Queensland instead of being at 7 o'clock Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think South Australia and all them, I think, are sensible and run daylight saving. I think just people in Queensland like having sun at 3 a.m. or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yes, that means FD, you'll be waking up even earlier to watch it.
Actually, they don't do replays,
No,
do
no, no,
they?
they do. So this
They're
year, if you're watching
not.
FD, everything is on Facebook.
Yes, and it actually stays up because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
you get
Facebook all
leaving
stays
it
up
up.
now. Like, yeah, all those
Okay,
things stay up. So,
cool.
uh,
So that means I don't have to get up to watch it. I can just watch
yeah,
it on
well,
my own.
normally what I do is try and aim to wake up just a bit before top 16 starts, and then I'll like skip all the bullshit through the top 32 and just watch the battles so I know what's happened. And then if anything exciting's happened, then I'll listen to the commentary for that part of
What
it.
time's that? Is that early?
Yeah, I think like 8 o'clock or something, 7 o'clock.
Oh, it's on a
Sunday. You're still just getting
no,
home from the runs at that time, mate.
no. This Sunday is Motorcana.
Ah, so you need to watch it before you go.
I think I'd be there. No, I'd be on my
Yeah,
way
probably.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just do the illegal thing.
Watch on the phone while you're
So
driving.
yeah, I'm guilty. Um, that V8 supercars, all that Adam LZ videos. So next week Matt Harvey's coming on. He's said he's going to. So there we go. Um, I'm pretty sure Matt watches FD religiously too. So we might need Matt on for 2 episodes. One where me and him can speak about FD because EG won't have watched, and then we'll get Matt on for Matt to talk about actually
This
talking
is
about Matt.
himself. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure Matt will be okay with that. He can always play Assetto Corsa while talking to us. Uh, and yeah, I think we'll wrap this one up early. Thanks to the guys who have watched and contributed. Connor, Paul, for your electric motor knowledge, no more than us. Once we get more information to light, I might get you one or both of you guys to explain some of that technical stuff to me from how that car operates, and yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend.
As long as we get like a video, like a Hoonigan style thing where they sort of break it down even
Yeah.
just a little bit more, then I think you'll have a better idea of it.
Well, yeah, as I said, like the front looks like it's a battery bank. That looks like a
Yeah.
motor. So like it's just all sorts of stuff like that. And then
I don't think we have enough information. Like
yeah,
until that type of content comes out, it's all speculation, really.
yeah. So yeah, I'm driving figure eight next Saturday, not not this weekend, but the following weekend. Another one of our viewers, Daryl, just got his SR tuned, and he made a fuckload of power. And so congratulations to Daryl for your 300 plus kilowatt SR20 S14. I'm excited to see him out there. Maybe he'll be out there shaking down with me, and I can run into him as well before I practice running into Daigo. So yeah, keep an eye out for Michelana this weekend. Aussie over at FD, and hopefully you can get some more partners on board and do multiple rounds of this season of FD. So yeah, anything else?
Nope,
All
I don't
right.
think so.
We will catch you guys next week with Matt Harvey. We probably won't talk much about Matt Harvey. We'll probably end up just talking about FD, and then we'll get Matt Harvey on after that to talk about Matt Harvey. So, all right, we will catch you guys next week.
All right, see you guys.